This time we tour 3 national parks in Texas and New Mexico, each with their own unique personality. The massive cold front that affected most of the nation in January even reached us in southwest Texas, with temps dropping to 20 degrees.
50-amp power cords are always a pain to work with, but even more so when it's cold.
Named for Guadalupe Peak, the highest point in Texas, Guadalupe Mountains National Park has no scenic roads and is primarily accessed by hiking trails. The park is home to a variety of wildlife, including mammals, birds, and reptiles. One of the most unique animals in the park is the javelina, which looks like a small wild pig.
My dad got to see 6 javelinas last night, but they might look like pigs, but they're not. They're the member of the hippo family. But it was so cool to see them. It was so cute.
After a very windy night, which happens often at the park's only RV campground, we went for a short hike to Manzanita Spring. Due to the water coming from the spring, the area around it is a bit of an oasis in an otherwise very dry place.
We made it to Guadalupe Mountains yesterday about 2 o'clock. We checked into our campsite, which is basically just a parking lot with designated sites for RVs to park. We're gonna be honest, it's not our favorite park. If you are into extreme hiking, serious elevation, long distances,
like 10 miles with, a couple thousand feet elevation gain,
then you would have something to do here. Our issue is that the surrounding area is not particularly scenic. Even the mountain range here, that is the national park, is just very similar to everything else you see around here. This is not a place that we personally would recommend planning to spend a lot of time. If you're coming to the area to go to Carlsbad Caverns, it's right here. It's worth coming in. And
if you haven't just been to Big Bend National Park, which we were, then this would be more impressive.
Probably,
I'm sure.
yeah.
But
you're
after
probably
coming
right.
to Big Bend and now you see this, it's like
it's a little underwhelming, and we just wanted to be forthcoming about that and not make it sound like everything we do, everything in the national park system is just amazing. It's really not.
No.
There are definitely some national parks we've been to that have been like, it's okay, glad we came, mark it off the list, but certainly wouldn't ever care to come back. This is one of those parks for us. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that love it, and I'm sure there are some great hikes here.
it's not our jam.
It's not an A+ for us. We're here, we're gonna make the most of it, but definitely looking forward to going to Carlsbad Caverns later today.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Only 30 minutes from Guadalupe Mountains, Carlsbad Caverns is just across the state line.
On the road again. Welcome to New Mexico.
These caverns were discovered by 16-year-old Jim White in 1898 when he saw a dark cloud coming out of the ground. It was actually millions of bats leaving the cave to feed at night. Between May and October, visitors can witness this nightly spectacle at the park's amphitheater. Carlsbad is one of the largest cave systems in the world, with over 30 miles of passages open to the public.
We're gonna go into a cave.
Carlsbad Caverns. This has been on our bucket list for a long time.
We are what is known as a public service, and our visitors, people that come and see these wonderful places, have a stake in these wonderful lands. They've been set aside for you to enjoy. They've been set aside for all of us to enjoy. So I may be the one in the uniform enforcing rules and things like that, but this place is as much yours as it is mine. And it's your job, along with me, to help me protect it as well.
Well, we appreciate all the work you do.
Who's excited?
I'm excited that there are no bats this time of year. It'd be cool to see them, but they creep me out a little bit.
Why? They're so cute.
From the natural entrance, visitors descend over 700 feet underground on a paved path.
Stalactites. Those are they hang tightly to the ceiling. And stalagmites are like stalactites, but they don't hang on tight. They're like the bottom, and mine reaches the top.
This is the limit of what I can do in close spaces. As we walked further into the caverns, we were blown away by the otherworldly formations in this place. Draperies are created when mineral-laden water flows along inclined surfaces. These made us think of bacon. That same water can also drip from the ceiling, causing formations called popcorn. Over 350,000 square feet in size, the big room is the cavern's most iconic place, and it is gigantic. It's the largest cave chamber by volume in North America and is 255 feet high at its highest point. There's no way to capture the dazzling magnitude of Carlsbad Caverns with a camera, and it's even difficult to take in with your own eyes. Rather than climb out, we opted to take the elevator back up to the visitor center for yet another Junior Ranger badge.
And I will share of my experiences
And I'll share with them my experiences
with my friends
with my friends
and family
and family.
and listen to
And listen to
my parents.
my parents.
That's good, especially the last one. Seeing all that popcorn in the caverns made Kaylee hungry.
For real popcorn.
All right, Carlsbad. Wow.
I'll give that a big thumbs up. Wow.
It was fantastic. Way, way bigger than we expected. We wound up walking 2.5 miles from the natural entrance all the way down into the big cave, the big room, and all around the big room. So it is a lot of walking
It is all, paved, so wear really comfortable shoes. If you are not able to hike or walk long distances, you can take the elevator down to the big room, and most of that is wheelchair accessible, so it's an awesome way for people that are not able to walk to still see by far the prettiest part of Carlsbad.
Absolutely. The walk down is spectacular. All of the cave is incredible, but the big room is just one amazing thing after another.
You cannot bring anything other than water. No snacks of any kind. Have a big meal before you go in.
Eat a hearty meal, which is great if you're RVing, because then you can eat a nice big lunch right before you go down. They also have a restaurant up top at the visitor center, and there is a lunchroom down in the cave
at the very bottom, which
and it's
is
historic,
super cool.
Really cool place. I was excited. I was like, man, how many places can you go and eat ice cream or something like that? 750 feet below ground, but they didn't have enough staff and it wasn't open. So
don't plan on that, or maybe check before you go down to see if that's open. But especially for someone with a young child, that's something you really need to plan ahead for. We spent over 3 hours down in the cavern, and by the end of that second hour, we were saturated. I mean, you see so much; it's hard to take it in. So
Absolutely.
But it's absolutely worth it. Come if you can. The town of Carlsbad is like 25 miles away, so it's not a bad drive. That's where we're headed to for tonight. We're gonna go stay at Walmart.
Go wall knocking.
Quick overnight stop at Walmart, and then tomorrow we drive north and continue on to White Sands National Park.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Just east of Cloudcroft is Sleepygrass Canyon, home to waterfalls and views of the Sacramento Mountains. This is where we got our first glimpse of White Sands National Park. We settled in for the night at a free camping area next to Holloman Lake, and were blessed with a vibrant sunset. We're headed to our second and last national park in New Mexico. Which one, Kaylee?
White Sands National Park!
Someone's very excited about sand. Mommy and Daddy?
And not so much, but if you've watched our videos, you know that Kaylee loves sand. It's one of her favorite things to play in.
We don't mind the sand, we just don't really enjoy the cleanup afterwards, but it's okay. The
But it'll be cool.
home's already filthy, so we're just gonna add sand to the mix and we'll clean it tomorrow. White Sands became a national park in 2019. The park's unusual white sand is actually made of eroded gypsum.
So all that sand out there that you see, the crystals, the selenites, okay? If you look at the crystals real carefully, you can see that there's layers in them. Some are a little bit easier to see the layers, others aren't. And what happens is water seeps in between those layers, and then when it's really cold at night and it freezes, those layers pop off.
So how do you clean this with a vacuum?
No, how we clean it is I go like that. That's how I clean it.
Visitors can travel on Dunes Drive, 8 miles into the center of the gypsum dune field. We first hiked the Dune Life Nature Trail, an easy 1-mile loop at the edge of the sand dunes. The trail was a great introduction to the park, and we really enjoyed seeing the roadrunner and rabbit tracks in the sand.
Rabbit tracks. It's amazing that there are a few trees out here in these dunes. So first impressions of White Sands.
It's white.
And it's sandy.
Lots of sand. It's really neat. It's 50 degrees, but with the sun shining, you don't even need a jacket.
If this landscape looks vaguely familiar to you, it's probably because hundreds of commercials, TV shows, and movies have all been filmed here at the park. It's got such an otherworldly sort of landscape to it that it really fits a lot of different kinds of scenarios where people are, on another planet or something like that. It really is a very unique place. So one of the most popular things to do in White Sands National Park is to sled down the dunes. You have these little saucers, but in order for them to slide very well, they need to be waxed. Our daughter has been dying to do this and pestering us non-stop about when we were gonna go sledding.
I don't even think she knows.
It's another way to go down. Ragdoll style.
This may be stupid, but I'm trying it. Where did my child go?
If you want to go sledding, you can buy a sled at the gift shop just next to the visitor center at the entrance of the park. Or you can just hover around and see if you can get someone else's. Not stealing, of course, but a lot of people out here just leave the sleds when they're done, and then you're welcome to use them. They cost $21 at the gift shop, and then if you bring it back, they'll give you a $5 credit that you can use in the gift shop for something else. Right now, I think a nap sounds best to Mommy.
Yes, it does.
Woo!
The absolute worst part about the sledding is that you have to climb up the dune every single time you want to go back down. So keep that in mind. Don't eat a very big lunch or you'll regret it.
Are you ready? Get set, go.
Hey, no fear!
That was so slow.
Oh my goodness, seriously. Seriously.
Join us down the road as we explore some lesser-known areas of New Mexico. And until next time, enjoy your journey.